Hi, so just a quick show and tell of a few bits I've got from Amazon this week. I went on looking for one thing and came off with a couple of bits from makartt. It's a while since I've actually had anything from makartt. I used to use their nail tips all the time, they're fantastic. But I got myself a peel off base coat. I didn't actually realise they did one. But I'd like to try polygel again, but I am god awful at it. So the peel off base coat is so I can pop them back off if and when they're a disaster. This comes with full instructions and 2 little orange wood sticks. It is a full 15ml bottle. So for the £10 you're paying, I personally think it's a really good price. Nicely packaged. Look at those cute little orange wood sticks. But yeah, the few I've tried a couple of different brands of polygel, mostly cheaper ones off AliExpress or Temu or Shein, and some I've found too sticky, some I've just not liked, but I think mostly it is just me. I'm okay with gel, I'm good with acrylic, but polygel just honestly seems to elude me. And I see so many nail techs like Evie from Long Hair Pretty Nails, and she's so quick with the pie gel. She's awesome, and I just seriously struggle. This is a makartt top and base coat. Really well packaged, in that it's like a really, really stiff, hard foam. Those are not going anywhere in that box. They are 15ml bottles also. I can't remember if they were 10 or 15 to be honest. And this is the colour Puce, which FYI I think is an awful name. And this is a 50ml tube of polygel from makartt. This also comes with full instructions. I was having a look and I came across them on Amazon, and then I went nosing for a bunch of other stuff, but they had a whole bunch of really, really stunning nude colours. And for me, this is the closest I could get to, I don't know, like some of the nudes in acrylic I use. Like I'd call it a skin tone nude. That's probably not the right thing to call it, but that's what I call it. But it's the closest I've got to some of my acrylic colours. It is a really, really nice thick texture. So thick I did actually struggle to squeeze the tube. But I am also a weak ass. I wasn't exactly sure how much liquid to have on my brush, because like I said, polygel's not something I'm really well practiced in. But it seemed to move around where I wanted it to. It seems to have really, really good coverage. I mean, the thinner bits are where I've just basically pushed it out of the way. But it is a lovely colour, as you can see. To me, it's like the perfect acrylic nude shade. But I do really like that. And next up is a big box from Born Pretty. Look at the shine on that. It's a lovely box. I went looking on there for stamping polishes because it's coming up to autumn. I had some some design sets in mind. Look at those, but I had no autumn coloured stamping polishes. In fact, really, I only actually have the basics of like black, white, silver and gold. But they had a couple of different sets to choose from. These were 25, but that's the polygel cured. But £25 for 12 bottles of stamping polishes I don't think are bad. In fact, I think it's quite cheap. And these are 10ml bottles, so they're not like the little 5 and 3 mils. They had different packs of colours. This is just the one I chose. That is a beautiful pearlescent white. like some light catching shimmer running through it. It's an absolutely stunning colour. I don't really know where this one falls in the autumn range because it's kind of Barbie pink, but it will not go to waste. This is almost like a reddy pinky burgundy, as silly as that sounds. This one in my head I called English mustard because it really does look like Coleman's mustard. But that would be stunning for like stamping like autumn shaded leaves. Just as they're starting to turn and do that, the browny yellow colour. This is a grey which almost has like a slight purple to it. I wouldn't call it a true grey. It's like a grey purple maybe, or a grey mauve. This is a brown and it is like melted chocolate. It is a beautiful shade. This one is another burgundy. This is more reddy. This would be good for like the deep red centres of leaves, or just as a colour in general. It's actually a really nice colour. This is the most awesome sparkly green. It's not just one shade of green in there either. There's like, I don't know, there's like light green, dark green. It sparkles all the greens. This would not only be good for around Christmas, I think this would be great for like St. Patrick's Day, or just if you're fancying like an emeraldy green set. This is another brown, but this one is, I don't know, is this a paler brown? Almost orangey. I think I use this later on for some acorns. Nearly done now as well. This is a grassy green. They've got a really nice texture to these stamping polishes. They're not too thin or thick, and they're also not too heavily scented. This is a beautiful pumpkin orange. This is the perfect pumpkin orange. But yeah, some of the stamping polishes, they have a really strong polish smell to them. These have a slight one, but it doesn't knock you on your butt and knock you out. And this last one is a true grey, is what I'm going to call it. It's a grey. Although it looks kind of blue on the camera now I'm looking at it, but it is a grey. And that is my stamping set from Born Pretty. Okay, so I am going to faff around a bit apparently. I'm going to apply my peel off base coat. Now I've done no cuticle work, I have not buffed, I have not done anything. About 20 minutes ago I rubbed my nails down with cuticle oil, let it all soak in, and just left it at that because I know my history with polygel nails, and more than likely these will be getting popped straight off afterwards. So there was no point me doing anything for longevity, like buffing the nails or getting anything ready. And it'll be a good test to see how easily this actually does peel off and if it is worth the money. So I'm going to be using the makartt extension gel. And I don't know if you remember, but in one of my recent Shein hauls, I believe it was, I got some tips. I decided to go with the coffin. They have quite a huge C curve, but they're really they're really flat, weirdly enough. There's no like arched apex on them. But with me only planning to do quite short nails, I didn't really think that apex mattered as much. But I am wondering if maybe they are the ones that you're only supposed to put halfway down the nails, so you kind of like build the nail tip and then you work on top of that afterwards. Here is me straining to squeeze out the polygel. Now, because I next to never have used it, I've used it maybe 3 or 4 times, I have squeezed out far too much. Realistically, I didn't want the nail to even be much longer than where I've put the polygel to. So we do end up with an absolutely humongous nail, which ends up getting cut down. So I do need to learn how to work out how much I need and go from there, rather than wasting product. Realistically, there was probably enough product on that nail to do another 3. There I am, just smoothing it down a bit more, trying to make it thin as possible and putting it on. Trying not to press too hard or get it too shoved up my cuticles, for that matter. I do try putting a clippy on, but that was honestly a bad mistake, because then the polygel just bulged out the sides when I flipped my nail back over. So maybe no clippies for me. And that looks sticky because I forgot to wet my brush before going back in, but that's where I have to clean it all up from where the clip was on. But look at that, I only wanted like maybe 1 line off my finger on the molds, and instead I've got a huge full length nail, which is so not what I wanted whatsoever. And they seem to stick up slightly. I just use my tweezers there to pop that right off. It's a nice and shiny surface. But do you see what I mean? There's no apex on the thumb. It's flat. So I'm wondering if these are supposed to be put halfway down your fingers and then you just build on top of it. Beautiful shade though. You can see in the corner near my thumb where I've squeezed too much out, so it's a little thin. And this is me just cleansing any sticky off the underneath. And then I try to cut them down. But as it happens with the really, really high C curve, it does not fit in my tip cutters. So I do end up taking a pair of cuticle nippers, an old pair, and just making a snip, and there we go, it cracks it straight across. I kind of like that, not gonna lie. Makes trimming down nails a heck of a lot easier. I expected to have to keep chomping through it. I was quite shocked when there's just one little snip and it cracked all the way across. And this is me just trying to file off the little lips. and I do go out of shot there. I'm trying to file around my cuticles. Just trying to get rid of the little lip. I apologise for any background noise you can hear. It is 26 degrees today, so I am currently sat on the back doorstep doing this voiceover, enjoying 5 minutes with a bit of fresh air, because it might be hot and sunny, but there's at least a breeze, and there is not a breeze in the house. So this is take number 2 with my pointer finger, and I tried to bear in mind the amount I used last time, so I just put like a pea-sized amount on this time, thinking that'll do it, I'll have my shorter nail. But lo and behold, it is still too long. But then I did get to wondering if what did I wonder? I wondered if it had anything, well, it has to do with my bad polygel skills, but I wondered if it had anything to do with the fact that these tips are quite flat with no apex. So I did wonder if I'd have used one of the stiletto ones which have a really high apex. I wondered if that amount of gel would have been enough for the shorter nail, because there's more places for it to go. And let's go for take 2. I'm sorry, I keep going out of shot. I've put my camera in a different place, trying to make it sit nicer. I also did have a nice Halloween themed desk mat with like dried leaves on it, but I forgot to get that out too. I swear goldfish has nothing on me. My memory is atrocious sometimes. And we'll just do another clean up around the cuticles. I think this is the last one I do on camera, and then I do believe I do the rest off camera. And here we are. I've done the rest off camera like I thought. And as you can see, I kept using smaller and smaller amounts of the polygel. So the ring finger, this one, and especially the pinky, is almost translucent. I have done them far too thin. In fact, on this one, it's bled a little so you can't see it. I end up lifting part of the polygel off the nail. So they did get shorter. The problem is they also got thinner. But I mean, for the first time with this brand, and the fact that the last time I tried to use polygel was maybe 1.5 years or more ago. Because when I say I gave up, I gave up. But they're not brilliant, but they could also be a lot worse. It is just gonna... I think I'm just gonna have to order a couple more tubes, because I definitely like this one, and I especially like that colour. I think I'm gonna have to order a couple more tubes and just practice some more. I mean, I have a couple of different peel off base coats. I've not been using them because I'm trying to grow my nails. I'm worried about popping them off and then ripping my nails. But I was watching V Nail Edit, or V Nailed It, whichever way you want to say it. And she was saying about putting matte top coat down on your nails, curing it, and then putting the peel off base on, because nothing sticks to the matte top coat and they just pop right off. So depending on my thoughts on the makartt peel off base, that might also be an option. And this is just me trying to buff the shine off these nails, so any stamping and anything else that sticks to them, and trying to file off the goddamn mountains that I've left around my cuticles. I've even managed to leave a lip along the edges. I am not quite sure how I've managed that, but I must definitely managed that. And I'm not pressing in as rough as that looks, but I will admit I do actually now have sore cuticles. I did end up going off camera and using my e-file just to dig in a little around those cuticles, just to get the last of it off, because I was getting nowhere with a hand file other than frustrated. And this foam buffer is one of the buffers I got in my last Shein haul. It's the first time I've had a chance to get them out and give them a shot. They are honestly not bad. The ones I usually use are pink ones from CJP, and they are a different grit. I think the ones I get are a 180 240 normally, whereas these are 220 280, which is why I don't feel like it's as rough or taking as much off, but I do quite like them. The smoother side will be nice for just polishing off a design. Now, I know to some of you these may be really short nails, but to a nail biter like me who is valiantly trying to grow her own, these are really long nails. And while filming this, I managed to scratch myself twice and once across the face. So for me, these are very long nails, and it took some getting used to for the little time I had them on. And it's me just showing you I've still managed to make a mess of the underside, and that I've left them a little thin. And they're still flat. That flatness really bugs me. But it is a lovely colour. On the thumb, obviously, it doesn't look sheer because I have a more appropriate amount on. But when you get to the end of my hand, obviously, they do look a little more sheer. And my box of stamping polishes are back. This is a clear jelly stamper stamping plate I found on eBay, and they are overlapped, is that the right way to call it? They're overlapped designs, so you stamp different parts over different parts. And this stamping plate is the reason I wanted some autumn colours, because I really liked the orange and like the cups for mulled wine. Oh, and that one had a double layer of blue sticky on it, which I was not expecting. But if you can see, like, there's orange slices, there's glasses of mulled wine in the bottom right corner. You've got a few sneaky Christmas decorations in the left corner with a snowflake. There's cups of hot chocolate, cinnamon sticks, bottles saying cider and mulled wine. There's apple slices. And I just think it'd be a lovely set. And this is one of my favourite Moyu plates. And these are all over stamped plates. I really need to remember to learn the proper word for it. But I end up doing 1 or 2 stamps on camera, and then I go off camera and faff around for a bit and play with a few of the designs. Now I'm using a small stamper I got in one of my Shein parcels because I have a really nice big Born Pretty stamper. But could I find it while I was doing this set? No, I could not. So the little one it was, and that is just the jelly popped out of that. That's just a stamping form, not a stamping form, good God. That's just a nail form, and I use the sticky to make sure my stampers are entirely clean, no fluff or little bits left on it. I end up getting out a burgundy because I decided to do the mulled wine writing in the middle. And then I get out 3 leaf shades. I think I get the mustard, the orange, and the light brown, I believe, to do some leaves. Now that one I did not scrape very well. My normal scraper is quite a bit thinner than that one. So it took me a couple of tries with that one. So what I do is I just get a wipe with a little acetone on it and just clean that right off. And then I go in again. I give it a second wipe that time just to make sure. And it's picked up absolutely lovely. So I just press on and roll across. It's got nice detail on it, and that burgundy colour really is lovely. And now I am onto the Moyu palette. So yeah, it's the pale brown, the orange, and the mustard. I just missed that little corner bit out of that leaf. So that one is the start again. Sometimes when I'm doing stamping, one swipe straight up and it's done. Other days like today, it takes a couple of tries, but you always get there eventually. It's just a case of practicing. And like the polygel, it's been a while since I've stamped, but when I was going through some of my stuff, I realised how many different stamping plates I had, so it's something I'm going to start practicing with as well as the polygels. So I've got the chocolate base down. There we go. And it's foggy at the bottom of the camera. I apologise because my phone has slipped in the camera holder, and there we go, I figured it out. And next I am taking the pumpkin orange for the middle section. This just adds like a bit of lightness to it. I'm just stamping off the bits I don't need. I did have a bit of trouble lining this up, so some of the lines overlap off of the base leaf. But I don't much think it matters. It's not like an autumn leaf is exactly a uniform thing, is it? And then we've got mustard for the leafy veins and the stalk. And there we go. You can just see the pumpkin orange like highlight slightly to the sides. And I will clean that off. And now I go off camera to do the others. There you go. I tried a hot chocolate cup, which needs a little work. And I tried different layered colours with the acorn and stuff. And I'm just going to use my new makartt top coat. Now I found this quite a nice top coat. It has a really nice shine, but it's quite a watery top coat. I have some that are thicker. This is a very thin one, but it actually is really nice. So to all of you that have managed to watch this fairly to the end, thank you so much. Please like and subscribe. Any suggestions, please comment them. I will get back to you. And I will be working some more on my polygel. I mean, on a scale of 10 being brilliant and 1 being an epic failure, we're maybe about a 2 or 3. Much room for improvement, but could probably be worse. Definitely need to work on layering my stampings. But I do like that middle design. I think that's going to look nice with the burgundy nail. Put those into cure. Now, due to the fact that these are a failure and I do not intend to keep them out, I am going to show you in real time me popping them off. And that is the makartt shiny top coat. So I am going to remove them. I haven't sped the video up because I wanted to show you how long it actually took me. But bear in mind, these are on very thin, and I am not somebody that is good at polygel, so they may have come off very quickly anyway. But what I do is I have one of my favourite cuticle oils, which is the CJP lemon oil. And you will see me in a second smothering that all around my cuticles. I am very heavy-handed with it. I never read the makartt instructions, so I don't know if that's what you're supposed to do. But I figured the people that use the 1 kill remover and the jello, that's an oil, so I figured the cuticle oil wouldn't do any harm, and if it slips in between it might help, because I really did not want to damage my nails. Picked up the pointy tweezers and definitely thought better of that mistake. But yeah, so I did have to wiggle a bit to get it under there. And I'm not sure if it looks forceful on the video, but I'm actually being super gentle. Because like I said, I am trying to grow my nails. And I was terrified of ripping them off. Look how easy they come off. I've lifted an acrylic off a nail before and I have taken 3/4 of my nail with it. And that is not an experience I will ever care to repeat. But I don't know if the oil made a difference or it is just the peel off base coat. But it was awesome and they came off so easy. This one was a little trickier, but this one had a lot more product on it. Because obviously this was the first nail and I was very heavy-handed. But it still didn't even really, I don't even think it really even took a minute to get it off. But there is no damage whatsoever. So it's definitely a 10 out of 10 for me on the base coat. But thank you for watching my polygel failure today. Any suggestions, please comment. If you would like the links to anything, message me and I'll put them up for you. But thank you so much for watching and I hope you like and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.